Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to my channel. This is Car Chat and all of that, and I am Coach Sherry. So over the weekend, my middle daughter, my center child, and I went to see the movie Barbie, and I was, excited to see it. I didn't know what to expect, but I do know I really enjoyed playing with Barbies growing up, and so did my daughters. I really love the Barbie head the most because, you can style the hair. And my mother used to do hair as well on the side. She was a licensed beautician, but that was not her and my dad's business. But I remember growing up and on Saturdays, many women would come through so she could do their hair. Many of you may remember vigor rolls and pressing, hard press from the stove, the iron, the straightening comb, and she would give them curls that would last for 2 weeks. And so I enjoyed being right there with her and with my Barbie head doing my thing, and also playing with Barbies and all of the accessories. And when my daughters came along, oh, the dream houses that were available and all the accessories just really were elevated. So I was excited to see it, but then I was thinking, am I too old to go see it? I don't know. Is this for a younger crowd? But I was pleasantly surprised at the audience. I mean, there were many men in there with their families, and actually the men were the loudest ones laughing. I was like looking around like, is it really that funny? But there were funny moments for sure. The thing about this movie that, at first it started off a little bit cheesy, just kind of like, yeah, this is what I thought it was going to be. But then it evolved and was really a women's empowerment movie. And it really showed the strength of women and things that we can do and how we work in an organized fashion when we do work together. We are very collaborative, and how the men, they just kind of fell apart. And I remember I had two boys in my class when I was doing a fellowship. I did a teaching fellowship, and they were, oh my goodness, they were hellion. They were, oh, and so my husband was like, just sit them next to each other. They'll fight and cancel each other out. And unfortunately, that is what happened. But that's kind of what it reminded me of when I looked at the movie, because the Kens ended up fighting. I don't hope this is not a spoiler alert, but the Kens ended up fighting, and they just missed out on everything, and, just got so distracted with being bothered by each other until they just lost their opportunity. But then at the same time, I looked at it almost like demasculating the men, because they didn't let the Kens have a voice. And I wanted to see if anyone else felt that. If you went to go see the movie Barbie, did you feel that the Kens were demasculated? They weren't really strong. They didn't know, no one knew or cared where they lived. And they didn't have a strong voice or an opinion at all. And they just seemed almost simpleton. Instead of Ken saying he was a lifeguard or he was going to the beach, he just called it beach. And, so his vocabulary, the way that he said things about even what he was capable of doing, was very simple. And as women, that's what I really don't prefer, is when we do that to a man. I like a man to be a man, to stand up, to, be strong and take charge, control. However, as a woman, I want that same man to respect and honor my strength and allow me to control what I can control. But together, that is dynamic. And that's the kind of relationship I have with my husband. That's something that I always sought out after. I never wanted a man that felt like he had to be a yes man, or a man that required me to be a yes woman. So I don't think in a movie Barbie there was quite that balance. It would have been nice at the end if they had a place where the Kens could go and everyone knew that's where they lived, so that could be another, just another propelling, another piece of it. But it just kind of went back to the way it was, where the Barbies kind of ruled everything, which is not bad. I mean, who rules the world? Women. We give birth to the world. We are that vessel. However, we do need men. So that was just my take on it. Overall, I would definitely recommend that you go check it out, especially if you have young people in your life, young girls in particular, or just young people that enjoy Barbie. I know a lot of boys grew up with sisters that played with Barbies, and sometimes they found themselves sitting at that dream home driving that Barbie car. The Barbie car is everything, or driving the camper or what have you. So it is definitely for everyone. And in the audience, it was a combination of all different people, young, old, men, women, boys, girls, and it was relatively full too. They had several showings, and the one that we chose was packed. It was packed. So I hope if you went to see it that you enjoyed it, but leave me a comment. And what are your thoughts on the Barbie movie? Another thing that I really liked is that they brought in the historical piece of who the actual creator was. I never considered who created Barbie. I mean, I know Mattel makes Barbie, but I never considered who came up with the concept. And so when they introduced that person, Ruth, and the way they introduced her, I really liked it, and just her reasoning behind developing Barbie. And Barbie's name is derived from Barbara, which was the creator's daughter's name. So all of that is things, little known facts that came out from the movie, which I think was very appropriate. You know, now is the time to embrace her. If we're going to embrace her, we have to really and truly know who Barbie is and why she became. So that's one good thing. But at any rate, I hope I didn't give you too much of a spoiler alert, but I just wanted to come on here this morning and just again say good morning to you. Well, it's morning here. When you see this, it might be the afternoon or the evening, but I am Coach Sherry, and it has been my pleasure sharing this card chat and all that with you. Stay safe.